Greetings, everybody. My name is Robert Sean Kennedy. I'm going to be your history instructor for the summer, or not summer, the fall session 1. Um, this is going to be for U.S. History 1301 and 1302. So I'm looking at a 1301 class. So if you're in a History 1302 and the content looks a little bit different, that's okay. Everything else, all the concepts and expectations are the same. So here we go. First and foremost, this is my name, Robert Sean Kennedy. Um, Here is how you're going to get a hold of me. You're going to get a hold of me through the Remind app. Let me just say a word about that. That is an app. You'll click this and it'll give you download instructions, and it's basically a message board for us to be able to talk to each other and to communicate with each other. So please, sign up for that as quickly as possible. Um, Avoid calling me. It's not that I don't want to talk to you. It's just that it's not a very efficient way of communicating. What ends up happening is we play phone tag quite a bit, and it was something that could have been responded to very quickly in a message. So if we do need to talk, absolutely, that's great. Let's talk on the phone. But initiate that. Hey, I'd like to talk to you through Remind, that kind of a thing. Otherwise, I'm in and out of my office throughout the day. We'll play phone tag, and again, yeah, it's something that could have been resolved mostly through some quick communication via Remind. So download that. You can access it from your smartphone. You can also access it from your desktop or laptop as well. All right. The other thing you need to download is Lockdown Browser. This is a browser that you have to take exams on. The orientation exam, the pre-test exam, and the post-test exams all have to be done through Lockdown Browser. If you're not familiar with Lockdown Browser, there are, if you go here and then you go here, you will notice that there is a tutorial. So use that tutorial. There's also technical support. There's frequently asked questions, all of that kind of stuff. So and a quick start guide. But basically, it is a browser that doesn't restricts you from opening up other windows while you're taking the exam. You also have to use a webcam when you're taking these exams. So make sure your webcam is activated. If you don't have one, they're pretty inexpensive. You can get them pretty quickly and inexpensively through Amazon.com. Just make sure you click low to high price on your search window to get the ones that are under $5. You could also borrow a laptop computer from the library. If you use the laptop at the library, they all come with webcams. So lots of options there, but yes, you must use a webcam. Please don't message me saying that I can't use the webcam, because that is not an excuse. Everybody can use a webcam, and so can you. Let's go back here real quick. Let me open up the syllabus is already opened up, so here we go. So let me see. The only thing, here are the competencies. That's basically what you're going to be preparing for. Understand this is a competency-based course, so you're either earning an A, a B, or an F. So anything under an 80% is a failing grade in this course. So be aware of that as you're going through. Um, Incompletes. I rarely give them, so 9 times out of 10, if you ask, you're not going to be given. Actually, probably more than 9 times out of 10. First and foremost, they're only given for extraordinary reasons, and we're not going to even have a conversation about competencies unless you have adhered to the suggested schedule. Now, these are not hard and fast due dates. These ones right here that are highlighted right now. And again, in U.S. History 2, you have more competencies, so you'll see some different dates there in your suggested schedule. But you must adhere to it if and when you need a incomplete. And again, incompletes are only given for extraordinary reasons that are documented. So the first thing I'll look to see if you adhered to the suggested schedule. If you have deviated from it in any way, then we're not even having a conversation about an incomplete. You'll have to take the course again. Plan for the unexpected, especially in an online environment. Try to work ahead of the suggested schedule. Life happens. People die. People get sick. the unexpected happens. Computers crash, so work ahead of the schedule. Um, and if you happen to need one, you will be in a safe standing because you have adhered to the schedule. There is two hard. There are two assignments that actually have due dates um, that you must adhere to. One, the orientation exam, and then the other one is the Comp 1 pretest, or for my U.S. History 2, the Comp 5 pretest. Those two things must be completed by August 31st. If not, you will be dropped from the course. So that just lets me know that you are engaged in the course and you're out there. And for those that don't, it just lets me know that I made a mistake. I didn't really want to enroll in this course, and you will be withdrawn from the course. All right, pretests. A lot of students feel bad that they don't do well on these pretests. Don't feel bad. It's kind of a misnomer trying to take a competency-based class in U.S. history. Very few people, if any, are competent in U.S. history. It takes a little bit more than just reading a few books or just watching a few History Channel episodes. It takes a lifelong devotion to the discipline of studying it, of reading it, of talking about it, writing about it, presenting on it. So if you're not competent in it, don't worry about it. Very, very, very few people are. I haven't met one student who has passed these pretests. My suggestion is just blow through the pretests. You could just you're not going to pass it. So it's possible. You might have you might read about U.S. history constantly, and you have taken a class recently in it that just didn't count for college. So it might be possible, but most students are not. So my suggestion is just to blow through it. You cannot use your notes. And so when you take the exam, the webcam will ask, the exam will prompt you to show your environment. Make sure I don't see any notes laying around or a book laying around or a cell phone laying around. Do not use electronic equipment during the exam. If you do, I'm not going to ask questions. I am just going to assume that the student is cheating. And from there, the student will earn a failing grade for the semester. You will not be withdrawn from the course either. You will earn a failing grade for the semester. So it's real important that we keep the integrity of these courses intact. And when students, not all students, actually most students do not cheat, despite what a lot of instructors might think. Most students are honest. Most students are making a sincere effort. And so I'm not trying to cast aspersions on anybody out there, but just know why I'm doing it. I want to make sure that these courses' integrity are intact. And so when you graduate with a BASOL degree, or BASOL degree, depending on your pronunciation of it, from South Texas College, your employer will know it means something. Collectively out of these classes. We do not want to send people out who are prone to cheating or prone to finding shortcuts to work that needs to be done. And the subject matter is important. And so when students consider the subject matter not important and try to cheat their way through it, frankly, I or nobody here at this college has any time for those people. I'm not talking to you who is listening, because you are not going to cheat. And again, this does not apply to most people, but for those that this does apply to, if you were planning on cheating, you will be caught, and you will be giving a failing grade for the class, and I will make sure that every sector of this institution knows exactly what happened, and I will move forward that you are expelled from this college. So just so you know how serious the situation is, if this does apply to you, drop the course. For those that it doesn't apply to you, and that's most of you, don't worry about it. Just take the course. So no notes for the pretests. You can use notes for the post-tests. Specifically, what you can use is a 4x6 note card with handwritten notes on it. So if you're not sure what a 4x6 note card is, that's hyperlinked, so you can see what a 4x6 note card is. It's bigger than the 3x5 note card, so you can use front and back. Your notes have to be handwritten. Show that to the webcam and make sure that there's nothing else that in the environmental check. And when you do those environmental checks, make sure that they are thorough. If you're doing a real quick one, I might assume that you were trying to hide something. So don't let that happen. Make sure that your entire area is scanned with the camera, so I know you were not using additional notes, electronic equipment, or having somebody next to you. All right, I think that's all of the boogeyman stuff that I need to cover there. The only other thing I really want to cover is going into the competencies. Once you take the pretest, then you need to prepare for the post-test. And basically, for the post-test, you're preparing for lecture essays. So there are 5 to 8 paragraph lecture essays that you need to prepare for. And how you do that is you go through these learning objectives. So every lecture essay comes with an essay prompt, right? There's one essay prompt right there. Discuss the age of expansion and conquest and its various stages and of development. In your discussion, give examples of each phase and its development and show what the motivating forces were that finally induced England into colonization. How do you prepare for this? You don't do outside research. All the research you do is within these learning objectives right here. So opening up the first learning objective, you will notice it comes with a prompt. And you will notice, if you notice, these prompts are basically just get more specific to this essay prompt right here. So it's getting a little bit more myopic to make sure you understand exactly how you introduce this essay in Learning Objective 1. So don't even worry about an introduction. The introduction is covered with Learning Objective 1. How you prepare for that is you listen to this video and you read the content down below to respond specifically to this learning objective prompt right here. And that works for each of these learning objectives. The combined response to each of these learning objectives. And each of these learning objectives, generally speaking, is going to be 1 to 3 paragraphs. Write that down because that is something that's going to be on the orientation exam. Each learning objective, generally speaking, depending on how you write, depending on how much content is in the learning objective, will be 1 to 3 paragraphs. A paragraph is 5 to 6 sentences, generally speaking. Right? Sometimes they're longer, sometimes they're shorter. The combined response to each of these learning objectives, right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, is the response to this essay prompt. So when you click begin for your post-test, this exam will appear and you will respond to it by combining these responses right here. Right? So this is just basically an outline, a segmented outline of your essay right there. So keep that in mind as you're doing that, and that works for all of the lecture essays. So throughout the course. And again, for my U.S. History 2 students, you're going to have a different lecture essay in front of you, obviously. So just same principle applies, though. You are going through each learning objective, creating a response to each learning objective, combining those responses together to respond to the specific essay prompt, because this is what's going to appear once you take the exam. All right, with that said, that's about it for the class, for the orientation, I mean. Not for the class. You got a lot of work ahead of you there. Do get a hold of me. If you have any questions through Remind, I will get back to you very, very quickly. And one more thing about that. If I happen not to get back to you within a day, something went wrong. I either didn't see your message, I forgot to get back to you and I meant to, or your message didn't get to me. So don't hesitate to email me or message me back through Remind if that ever happens. Okay, other than that, that's about it. I will try to meet up on video next week, video chat next week for some office hours. So do let me know in the forum provided in the orientation PowerPoint what days work best for you. I'm thinking it's going to be some sort of evening. Usually BASOL students are free during the evening. So we'll see collectively where everybody stands on that. Anyway, take care. Go forth and be great, and I'll talk with you guys later. Bye.